Hello, and welcome to my presentation. I'm going to start off by asking you, how many of you have been to a national park before? Okay, I see a few hands out there. How many of you have been to Yosemite National Park? Yellowstone National Park? Sequoia National Park? Redwood? How about the Grand Canyon? The Everglades? Death Valley? Crater Lake? These are 8 of the 58 national parks that we have here in the United States. So imagine, on your next family vacation, you're walking around out in the desert next to large boulders, very nice weather out, wildlife everywhere, exotic plants to your left and to your right. Well, this could all be true if you were to visit this next national park. Who here has heard of Joshua Tree National Park? Okay, a few of you have. And out of those hands, who here is from California? Well, my name is Vrieze, and I am from Southern California. I have volunteered many hours for this national park, and I have come to know it greatly. But it didn't always start out like that. At first, like some of you in the audience, I didn't know anything about this national park. Someone talked to me about it, and I became interested. I wanted to know what it was about, what there was to do. So I did some research, and I found out what there was to do, and I plan on letting you know that today. So by the time you leave here, I want you to ask yourself, what have I learned about Joshua Tree National Park? Well, I'll tell you. You will have learned some of the things that there is to do in the national park, along with some of the wildlife and species that exist in the national park. How many of you here have been camping before? Go ahead, raise your hand. Don't be shy. Joshua Tree National Park is an excellent place to camp at. It can accommodate 10 to 60 people, so that's perfect for those extended families. Each campground has picnic tables and fire grates, so it's perfect for those s'mores, for those of you who like s'mores. Each campground also has water and toilets, but they do not have showers, so you need to plan accordingly. This next category will be good for some of those adventurous people out there. Imagine you and your friend are on the side of a giant boulder. You guys are trying to make it to the top. You get to the very top, and you pull yourself up and over that ledge. You stand up, you grab your friend, and you help him get to the very top. You both are then standing at the top of this large boulder, and you look around at the scenery, and you notice how beautiful it is, standing at the top of it. You then get a big sense of accomplishment. You just climbed one of the biggest boulders in Joshua Tree National Park. Joshua Tree National Park has opened up these formations to be climbed for enthusiasts in recent years. There are over 400 formations in Joshua Tree National Park, and there's over 8,000 climbing routes. Hundreds of climbers visit these boulders every weekend. Prior to climbing, you want to be sure you have proper training, you want to have proper safety equipment, and you also want to have about a gallon of water for every hour you plan on being out there. For those of you who like to go on long walks in peaceful environments with beautiful scenery, this next category is for you. There are over 10 trails in Joshua Tree National Park. On one trail, you can see the San Andreas Fault. This fault occurred in the famous 1906 earthquake of San Francisco, where the Pacific plate collided with the North American plate, creating this big huge gouge in the earth that you can see on one of these trails. On a different trail, you could see the Barker Dam water tank built by early cattle ranchers. One of my favorite things to see while walking on these nature trails is the crazy shapes of the Joshua trees. One of my personal experiences is one of the nature trails called 49 Palms Oasis. It's about a 3-mile trail round trip, And I really enjoy it because the scenery, you go climbing up the rocks, you make it around the mountain, you get to a bunch of palm trees, and in the center is an oasis filled with wildlife and beautiful plants. One interesting thing about the 49 Palms Oasis is that the palm trees, when you look at them, there's evidence that they've actually been burned before. That's pretty cool about that. So you want to treat yourself to go walk on these beautiful nature trails if you have the time to do so. So now that we learned about a few things that there is to do in Joshua Tree National Park, let's talk about some of the wildlife that exists in the park. There are over 750 species of plants that exist in the park. They're all adapted to low water, high heat environments. The Joshua Tree has become a sure sign that you're in the Mojave Desert. It has also become a symbol for the national park itself. A cool thing about Joshua trees is that they only grow in 2 places in the world. Another fact, besides the fact that they only grow a ½ inch a year, is that they have no growth rings. Seeing these trees in person have allowed me to view nature in a very different perspective because they are abnormal. Do you think humans are the only mammals able to live in the desert? Well, think again, because Joshua Tree National Park is home to over 52 species of mammals. Half of those mammals consist of smaller rodents, such as the kangaroo rat. These mammals derive the water that they need from the plants that they eat. Most of them are herbivores, and they are all paler in color, so that way they can blend in with their environment better, and also so that way they can escape predators better. The biggest mammal you're most likely to encounter in Joshua Tree National Park is the bighorn sheep. They live in the mountains at Joshua Tree National Park, and you are likely to see them throughout the daylight hours. There are 3 different herds, and 2 of those herds consist of over 100 bighorn sheep. This next category can save you a little bit of money on car insurance. That is geckos I am talking about, and yes, they do also live in Joshua Tree National Park. Reptiles have to be the most amazing creatures that exist in the park. They have adapted to live in these very arid conditions, and they need essentially no water to survive. During your visit to Joshua Tree National Park, you can catch a glimpse of a desert tortoise, 18 different types of lizards, and 25 varieties of snakes. The desert tortoise is on the endangered species list. If you want to see the desert tortoise, your best chances of seeing them is in the springtime when they emerge from their burrows to mate. But when you do go and look at them, you want to be sure you slow down and take your time looking around, because these tortoises travel at 0.2 miles per hour. So they're barely moving along, and they're very easy to blend in with the environment. During daylight hours, your chances of seeing a lizard is extremely high due to the fact that they need to bask in the sun to get the heat they need to survive. So, by now you're probably asking yourselves, what will I do with the information I've learned here? You could already be planning your next vacation to Joshua Tree National Park. You could be thinking about the camping items that you need to purchase in order to have a successful camping trip, or where you can even buy those camping items at. You and your friend could be thinking about which boulder you want to climb. Some of you out there might actually right now be texting your loved ones, telling them if they want to go on a romantic nature walk with you on some of these nature trails in Joshua Tree National Park. Those plant lovers out there could be thinking of which species of plants they would like to go and try to find on their own. And for you animal lovers, you could be thinking about which mammals or reptiles you'd like to go try and see. So, what will you do with the knowledge that I have provided you today? You will go home and you will research the type of activities there is to do in the park. You will also research the species that exist in the park based on your preferences to see how you want to shape your family vacation. So the next time you plan on making a family vacation, greatly consider Joshua Tree National Park.